I cut my own body measurements in half, built a plasticine figure, then destroyed it to make a mold. In California, I worked large with great clays, but I couldn't make Colima clay work the same way. A friend took my complaint seriously and sent me a link to a Portuguese artist making Venetian masks in plaster molds. I barely spoke Spanish, much less Portuguese, but I watched that video until I understood every last step. The masks were made in one-piece molds. I realized I could make two-piece molds, adding flanges on the parts, and make hollow three-dimensional figures. What a moment! Working this out in the fog forest, where humidity is the norm, took years. The organic pastes, engrudos, and starch glues didn't work. Then came the pandemic, material shortages, and prices on glues that doubled and tripled. With a heavy heart, I returned to PVA glue. That's why I say less toxic materials, not non-toxic ones. But all of that struggle and PVA glue became a gift. My inspiration, los mojigangos, Mexican paper arts, and a Venetian mask making tradition. That's where the spark was. These giant figures, built by hand from humble materials, show humor, self-deprecation, and an astonishing physical presence. The people who make them take almost nothing and produce something enormous, durable, and enlivening. The mojigangos showed me that I could work at scale with paper, that it could be structural, and that it could last. The humor in those figures, the whimsy, the willingness to be ridiculous and powerful at the same time, that gave me permission to take my own sculptures seriously. 5 to 7 layers of small pieces of craft paper and PVA glue. More layers for structural parts. And the flanges make everything possible. They're the joining surfaces that turn flat laminated shells into three-dimensional sculptures. I build from the feet first, mounted on threaded rods bolted to a board. Then legs, torso, arms, hands, and head. The order can shift depending on which connections need to be made first. The result is a sculpture you can move, reposition, and transport without a team of people or a forklift. These 20 figures began as one body, mine, scaled to half size. The same molds produced every figure. What changes is how I arrange the parts, how I position the arms. Sometimes I make a new mold and add a new part. Some figures hold up the sky with everything they have. Other figures sit in positions of quiet absurdity, wondering how they got here. One burns, flames erupting from her heart and head while doing the essential work of holding up the sky. Mold making sits at the center of this process. Learn to make a mold, and you can reproduce any form at any scale in any material. Every mold in the process room produced a part of one of those figures. The plaster holds the memory of the original plasticine piece. The paper holds the memory of the mold. The finished figure holds all of it, every layer, every decision, every minute of work. I spent my whole life as an adult working in the cracks, between jobs, in other people's spaces, in kitchens and yards. This studio, this method, these figures, they're the first time I've had the space and the tools to develop an idea to this degree. We're all trying to hold up some version of the sky. The question is, do we have the tools?